Hi everyone, my name is Myra and I'm the PR officer for a student-run organization here called AV Mentors, and I'm here to talk to you guys about getting recharged for a new semester. So first of all, congratulations for surviving the first semester. You did it. It was definitely different, but we all made it through, and that's all that matters at this point. So here's going to be two things actually that we're going to talk about. So first is reflections, thinking back on first semester. Number two is resources. So if you want to look for things you can do to prep for the second semester or over the summer. The third thing, the Q&A and activity. Unfortunately, since this is a recording, we can't do those, but you can always ask or email your counselors or email AV Mentors if you have any questions, which I will talk about at the end of this presentation. So we've pretty much been in the second semester for about 2 weeks now, and at this point, you should have a good feeling of how your teachers like to run things around the classroom, how your classes work, getting back into the groove of a school semester. And this is just going to be a presentation on how to improve yourself to go into the second semester refreshed and new. So these are three categories that you want to focus on when you're reflecting. So first is your tests, MC, which is multiple choice, and FRQ, which is free response. So looking through your test scores and setting goals for yourself will definitely help you gauge where you are right now and how you could improve yourself. This goes the same for projects. So if you have lost points or have not lost points, and what you can do to either keep where you are right now or improve your grade. And lastly is homework and participation. So have you been getting full points on your homework? And if not, why and what can you change? So if you get a chance, you should always go through your final tests. I know some teachers don't allow this, but if you do get a chance to look at your final, you should. And you should complete some sort of an after the test reflection, and it'll help you understand what material you still don't understand and do understand. The image you see on the right hand side is the template that the AV Mentors team made. If you do want it, you can always email us, which again I will talk about at the end of this presentation. But this template specifically is better for multiple choice tests or STEM subjects. If you're looking for a more versatile template, this one would be a better one to use. And obviously you don't have to use like one of our templates. You can just like look through your tests at your own pace. There's no like one size fits all for this. What matters is that you're learning and looking at the information. And also don't worry too much about semester one grades because they're in the past already. Just focus on semester two because you get a fresh start. In fact, colleges like seeing an upward trend or improvement in grades, so that's all the more reason to work harder, and you can definitely do it. So we're going to be talking about participation points. Some of the stuff that we've written here is a little bit more towards the online environment that we had last year, but we'll get there. So there are a few things you can do before and after class. So before class, you can always prepare by checking the class planner schedule on the website, on your teacher's website or Google Classroom, and you can read the assignment or the plan for what is going to go on that day. So class discussions are usually on a particular topic, and teachers usually assign readings. This is more true in AP class or English classes, but I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. And if it helps, you should definitely try making notes for the discussion to prep. So writing things down that you disagree or agree with. And these are useful when you're talking about personal reactions, opinions, or ideas. And also making sure to note any concepts you don't understand, because you can use these to form questions and ask during the participation or during the discussion as well. So during class, if you're nervous about speaking up in front of everyone, try to say something at the beginning of class. If you wait longer, asking gets way harder. Although I will say at some point, most of everyone has been nervous. So don't be scared because you're definitely not alone. And just before you want to comment or say something, just raise your hand, or if it's a Socratic, just be brave and go out there. If you interrupt someone, people are usually nice enough so you can like take turns and talk. Um, and make sure you're actively listening and participating in the discussion, because sometimes like the ideas that you discuss will pop up on tests later, or like little quizzes, things like that. So reflecting on extracurriculars. So for freshman year, if you're not a freshman, this will also semi-apply to you, but for freshmen especially, your year is all about exploring and finding out what you like and dislike doing. And I'm sure there are juniors and seniors and sophomores who are also still trying to figure out what they do or what they like doing, and that is totally fine. So for clubs, which clubs are you interested in, and which clubs can you see yourself being involved in all 4 years of high school? And would you be willing to take on a leadership position in the club? So a piece of advice from the AV Mentors team is we recommend dedicating yourself to 2 to 3 clubs, but obviously this depends on how much time you're willing to spend. Ultimately, there is no like one size fits all. It's all just what you want to do with your own time. And on the other side, for extracurriculars like sports or classes or whatever else, which activities match your interests the most? And could you see yourself doing this all the way through high school? Are you doing this activity for its prestige or out of actual interest? And these are just a few questions you can ask yourself to sort of gauge where you are right now. Another piece of advice we have is to go with your interests, but take into account all the time you spend on it. In high school, especially, time management is a big part. So always be careful about where you're budgeting your time. And with that said, don't be nervous to try out a new activity or club. So even if it is second semester, a few clubs might still let you join in. So there's nothing stopping you from experiencing a new club or activity. So definitely go for it. There's no harm in trying it out. Building rapport with teachers. So try to get to know them better. So a few tips we have are visiting their office hours. This is for Zoom, but you can try going to their access if you need help, or asking questions or hanging out with them. Teachers can actually have really cool backstories and experiences. So it's awesome to have a high school mentor to return to visit even after your freshman year. And it's definitely very rewarding to have a solid relationship with a teacher. All right, so on to our second part, which is resources. So how and where to find what you need. So for exploring new interests, there's a link on there's a link on here called Great Websites for Kids. And it's basically, it's a pretty easy site to navigate, and it's just a database of all kinds of interesting websites. So a few categories that we'd recommend looking at if you're interested is history and biography, literature and languages, and the social sciences. For applying to colleges, you can look at Prep Scholar, College Vine, CapEx, or Naviance. I know Naviance is the old portal that we use. This year we have Zello, but regardless, you should always try exploring on these websites. And I won't talk about every bullet point on here, but you can email us later and we can work something out. For exploring colleges, try virtual college tours. So for example, there's a Harvard virtual tour, there's a niche link, and looking into categories. So if you're interested in a certain subject, or if you're looking at which colleges have good programs, we have links that's called like US News College Ranking for Biology and Biochemistry. That's kind of specific, but you get the idea. And there's also Big Future College Search, so you can use the filters that they provide for you. For relaxing, so obviously mental health is also a big important aspect of high school life. So there's a Bauman Virtual Pets, there's This Is Sand, and there's Rain. For time management, Notion is a great app. I use Notion. I think most of our officers use Notion. I know a lot of my friends use Notion. It's really versatile, so you can design your own type of to-do list or dashboard to organize everything that you have, and it's not just for time management. And we have a link to our organization slideshow. For tests for math specifically, I'm fairly sure a lot of you guys know this already, but there's Kuta software. They have a lot of practice worksheets and stuff just for easy conceptual questions. And then there's also Quizlet, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows by now, or most of everyone at least. And then we have a link to our test taking strategy slideshow. So here's a reflection activity that you can do. So there are 4 steps. So first is dividing your grade into categories. So like homework and tests and projects like I talked about in the beginning. Step 2 is for each category, what did you do correctly? And what did you do wrong, or why did you miss points? And what can you do better to improve on those grades? And this is just a basic outline that you can get started with to try and look at where you want to start for a second semester. And that is it. So thank you so much for watching. Our email is at avmentors@gmail.com if you want to email us. We have a website. It's avmentors.wixsite.com/avmentors. And then we have an Instagram. And if you want to join our Remind, it's at avfreshies281010 if you want to join. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day, everyone.